Today we're talking about personal loans, there's lines of credits and overdrafts. So this is for most purposes, every loan you'll ever take out except for a mortgage. So this is used for stuff like cars. If you ever use, say, like a student loan, maybe if you're getting like renovations on like a house or something like that. I know people who've used this for a boat or like a skidoo or four-wheeler or whatever it is. Usually that's through one of these things here. So there's a couple of key terms here. I won't go through them all, but we know what a loan is. You take money back, you pay it back with interest. The amortization period, that was something we learned about yesterday. That's how long that loan you're paying that loan back. So if I take something out for a 3-year loan, it's a 3-year amortization period. Line of credit is just, again, this is usually your bank being like, yeah, we trust them. We'll give them up to $6,000 to use for what they want. Usually it's for a specific purpose, but you can technically draw on it whenever. There's something called overdraft protection. So if you remember, overdraft is where, let's say you have $100 in your account and you bought something that was $150. You've overdrafted 50 of those dollars, right? $50 more than you had. Some of your banks will realize, hey, mistakes happen sometimes. So they'll let you do that sometimes without charging you. Most banks are going to charge you though. There's a payday loan. So we're going to learn why payday loans today are like the worst thing. Like rob someone, take out a new credit card, do anything but a payday loan. Please don't rob someone. But the reason these are so painful is because it's usually really short loans with absurdly high interest rates. They make credit cards look like free money. So they're awful. We'll go into that soon. And then of course there's default. So if you are unable to pay a loan, you've defaulted on that loan. And remember, when institutions lend money out, they expect that some people are not going to be able to pay that money back. It's just something they know is going to happen for whatever reason. Sometimes it happens for a bunch of reasons, but they know that some people are not going to be able to pay that loan back. So we have a couple of key ideas here. So sometimes you're going to want to borrow money from a lending institution, such as a bank or a credit union, to make a large purchase. You have different ways to borrow that money. So you can do a loan to do that. So interest is calculated from the date you receive the money until the final date of the loan. So if it's a 3-year loan, there's interest calculated for all 3 years of that. And so you sign an agreement that says, yeah, I'll pay, I don't know, $150 a month for the next 3 years, something like that. So this length of time is referred to as I'll make that bigger in red in a second. Amortization period. Red. Is everyone able to see that? Is that big enough? So this time is the amortization period, and then a line of credit allows you to borrow money as needed in a pre-approved amount. You're only charged interest on the amount you need. So again, line of credit is I go to the bank, I say, hey, I think I want to do some house renovations this summer. I don't know how much it's going to cost me. Maybe they'll say, yeah, we'll give you up to $8,000. Maybe I only use 2,000 of that. Maybe I don't use it at all. Maybe I use all 8,000. We don't know, but it's there for me to use. Maybe there was a huge deal on like lumber and I bought more than I had enough money for. So I had to rely on my line of credit to pay my bills for the rest of the month. It's something you can do. So your bank might also offer you overdraft protection. There you go.
Serious. I should have asked you to do back. I've been putting me on Susie.
Oh, thank you. And so some places offer you emergency loans. These are usually called payday loans. But again, super high interest rates, I would do literally anything else in my power. Like I would sell my car before going to one of those. And sometimes you have to, but like do whatever you can to not. If you don't make your loan payments as agreed, you are set to default and legal action can be taken against you. So they could take that stuff off, they could garnish your wages, so they can take the stuff back, garnish your wages. I think in some weird situations, they can come in and like take stuff from your property. I don't know anyone who's gone through that yet. We'll see with these next couple of years in inflation. Yeah. Okay, everyone good to go? Oh, Kim's still writing? Okay. So you're going to see there's this big table here. And so this is going to get referred to throughout today. But so this is a personal loan payment calculator. And so what they do is for every $1,000 you borrow, this thing already calculated out the interest, and then it just tells you what your payment is. So if I take out a loan for 2 years at 3%, this is how much I would pay a month for 2 years. That's how that works. If I take out a loan for 5 years at 5%, this is how much I pay per month for those 5 years. If it was $1,000. If it was $2,000, you would double it. If it was $4,500, you times it by 4.5, so on and so forth. So that's how we use this table. This is going to be referred to a couple times. That's the one on page 42 for you folks. So going to do a quick one here, a quick example, and then I think we're looking in the, where was the payday one? I swear I had a payday loan in here. I remember working on it. Oh no, this is the payday one. Okay, here we go. So payday loan. So in this case, Richard had car insurance of, again, always highlight the important stuff. He had car insurance of $1,400 that was due in 2 days. He did not have the cash available. He went to a payday loan store for a loan. So he took out a loan and he had to repay the store $1,635.20 within 14 days. So he needed $1,400 in 2 weeks. He pays the store $1,635. So right away, we already know that he is I think there's one in the box up there if you do need one more. Well, we subtract that to get the interest for sure. So first off, I'm not even going to show my work for this because we can just look at it. The interest here. Oh, thank you there, Hannah. Sorry, I thought there was one in there. So right away, I can look at this. I can see that the interest difference here, he's paying an extra $235.20 in those 2 weeks, right? I don't need any fancy calculations from that. I can just see that's the difference between how much he took out and how much he has to pay.
So do we divide that by 1,400?
Oh, I'll show you. I'll show you how we do that. So I can see that this is my total amount that I've taken out. So remember, the formula we've always used, actually, I'm going to put that above here. Interest, I, is equal to P, the principal, times the rate of interest, times the term, right? Times the time. So I figured out what the I is here. Let me just do that. There we go. So I figured out the I is $235.20. The P in this case, that's the principal. That's how much money he originally put in. Was $1,400, right? $1,400. What am I going to put for R here? Nothing. I don't know what that is. That's what I'm trying to find out. I'm going to leave that. And then the term. Now, this is where it's a little bit different than something we've done. I want to find the interest rate, but not just the interest rate. I want to find the daily interest rate. So what that means is I want to figure out how much money is this going up in interest every single day. So normally what we do, normally what we did was we did, oh, it's 10 days of 365 years. That figures out the yearly interest rate. I'm trying to figure out the daily interest rate. So I'm going to go just the days. So there's a total of 10 days here. And that's it.
And also 14 days.
Well, 14 days. Thank you. It's supposed to be 14 days. 14 days. Sorry about that. Okay. So my overall goal here, remember, I'm trying to find R. I'm trying to find the interest rate. Eventually, if I work this enough, it's going to tell me R is equal to some type of an answer. That's the goal. So I need to manipulate this equation in a way that's going to get me there. Oh, we only use trig with triangles. Yeah, yeah. So in this case, I need to get R by itself. I have two things in the way, right? The 14 days and the $1,400. Let's get rid of the 14 days.
So
Divide both sides by 14, you bet. Which means this is going to get canceled out. And then so then on the left side, I'm going to be left with $235.20 divided by 14, 16.8. So 16 point, is that big enough? I can make it bigger, by the way. Okay, so 16.8, 80, I guess, it's dollars, is equal to $1,400 times the rate of interest. So I'm almost there. I now need to do one more thing with this. I need to get rid of this 1,400. So right now, there's $1,400, and I can see it's being times into the rate. So I need to do the opposite of times in $1,400. Divide by 1,400, you bet. So if I divide both sides by $1,400, I should be left with, so what is that? That was 1680 divided by 1,400. I am left with 0.012. So kind of a weird number. We've never really we've seen before. So it's, so I like where you're going with that. So right now, this is it as a decimal, right? If I want to figure out what the actual percentage is, I need to times it by 100, move that decimal place. So in actuality, this thing is 1.2% interest rate. Per day. So per day, it goes up 1.2%, which doesn't sound like a lot, but again, if you take out $1,000, day one, that's $12. Day two, it's going to be like $12 and a couple cents. Day three, $12 and a couple more cents. Every day, $12, $12, $12 on $1,000. Adds up really quick, right? So I know what the daily interest rate is now, but I want to know what the annual interest rate is going to be. So this is the yearly one now, right? So any guesses how I'd figure that out?
14, or no. 1680 times. I don't know.
Well, so we always start with our formula. I is equal to
Well, if that's,
PRT.
if it's 1680 per day, won't we just times that by?
Well, so that could be how much that would be figuring out how much I would owe in interest after year, but I want to figure out the annual interest rate. So is it like 20%? Is it 5%? Over a year, how much interest is built up as a rate? So it's going to be a percentage as an answer. So
1.2 times 365.
So we always start with our formula here, I equals PRT. We've already done most of the work. We already know what the interest is. We know what the principal is. We're trying to find the rate. And in this case,
Over 365.
it would be, it would actually be, so I equals, so yeah, 1,400, oops. So 235.20. $235.20 is equal to principal, which is 1,400 times the interest rate. And then that's where you times it exactly what you said. It's so now we're doing the yearly interest rate. We have a loan for 14 days of that year. So 14 of those 365 days. And then I would solve it the exact same way. I won't go through the steps, but you would divide this 14 over 365. Then you divide it by this $1,400. Eventually, if you do this, you're going to get an answer of, you're going to get an answer of 4.38 is equal to R. So you solve this the exact same way as how we just did it up here. So 4.38 divided by R. Now, am I done? No, that's not the interest. That's not a percentage, right? So I need to convert that into percentage, which is actually 438%. Yeah, yeah. Yeah. So Kim, on to your point.
What if they go to collections and they're just gonna sell?
Yeah, but you're still going to be like that. Again, like the more and more this sits, your credit's going to go down. Yeah. Like if you can't pay this back and like, sorry. So Kim, going back to your point. So how you said, well, can't they just take this times it by 365? Yes, you can do that too. That works too.
But you gotta divide it.
No, in this case, if I know I gain 1.2% interest per day and there's 365 days, my total yearly one would be 438%. So that would also work there, Kim. Just so you know. I just wanted to do this so we get more practice with the equation, but your method would also work with that. Sorry? Oh, whoops. I left that in there. Okay. Oh, and circle that. Cool. So yeah, payday loans, really bad. So if you took out $1,000 and you didn't pay that loan in time for that whole year, you now owe $4,380. And it's just going to get worse and worse from there. And sometimes this stuff's like compounded, like the interest is calculated compoundly too. So it just gets worse and worse and worse. So going into our next one here. So we have Sophia has borrowed again, highlight what the important stuff. Sophia borrowed $500 from a payday loan store and has agreed to pay it back in 30 days at an interest rate of 1.15% per day. How much does she have to repay? What's my formula I use? I equals PRT, you betcha. So I'm trying to figure out how much I have to repay, which is the I, right? That's the interest. I know what my principal is. She borrowed $500. I know what the rate is. It's 1.15%. As a decimal, 0.015. And I know how long it is too. It's for 30 days. The reason I put it as 30 and not 30 over 365, any guesses?
What did you say?
So how come I have it as 30 instead of,
It says 30 days at a rate of 1.5%.
yeah, so it's a 1.5% per day, right? So that means that I'm working in days. We've only worked in years up until now. So all I need to now do is just put this in my calculator, right? And that's going to give me the amount of interest you paid. So 500 times 0.015. So you said 225? You betcha. So the I is equal to $225. Am I done? No, because I want to know how much I have to repay. So she gained that much in interest.
Well, just back to 500.
Yeah, just add that to the 500. That's it. So 225 plus the $500. She has to pay $725 in a month. And then, so everyone has that? $725, yeah. So we just took our 225 in interest, added that to how much we originally borrowed. You owe $725. So next we have our final question here. So question 3. So Stanley borrowed $4,500 to do his home renovations. This is really common, by the way. I know a lot of people who, when they want to do home renovations, they took money out. So in the last 2 years, the Saskatchewan government, they gave, was it 8,000, 10,000? Do you remember?
I think it was like 8 million.
Well, so what they did was, so I took advantage of this. So they said, so during COVID, there was a recession. They're like, you know what? Anyone who owns a home, we will give you, you can pay up to $10,000 to renovate your home over the next 2 years. So $5,000 for each year. And we will give you 10% of that money back if you file on a tax return. So I spent like $5,000 on my home. Like, I'm gonna get $500 back on my tax return. So I know a lot of people, I didn't do this, but I know people who took out loans to try and do this because lumber was, of course, outrageous. So he borrowed $4,500 to do home renovations. This has an annual interest rate of 5.75%. An annual interest rate, annual means what? Yearly, you betcha. And an amortization period of 3 years. What does that mean? Yeah, he's paying it back over the 3 years, you bet. So we are going to need this personal loan payment calculator table from above to answer this question. So we have 5.75%, $4,500 and 3 years. So what was that? So that was 5.75% right here over 3 years. Does he pay $30.31 a month? Per $1,000, right? So he took out $4,500, took out $4,500. So I need to take this $30.31 and times that by 4.5, right? Because it's $4,500 that he's borrowed. So he pays $136.40. $136.40 every month.
Now it's 40.
Now it's 40 cents. So what's his monthly payment? 136 and 50 cents, 40 cents, 40 cents. Thank you. And that's it. So we just look at the table, boom, that's how much he pays. Lots of banks will have this. They'll have some type of a chart like that they kind of calculate every now and then as whatever their interest rate is. That's the final answer. Yeah. We went to the table, we figured out how much it was. So how much is he going to pay over 3 years? How do I figure that out? Oh, sorry.
Is that the times that by 12 and then times it by 3?
Yeah, that's exactly it. So this is how much he has to pay per month. How many months are in 3 years? 36 months. Or you could do 12 times 3. No. Your way is absolutely correct. Yeah. So
There's 12 months in a year.
12 months in a year, but there's 3 years here, right? Yeah. So either of these work. Either of those are good. Those are going to give you the exact same answer. So if you do that calculation, you should end up getting $4,910.40. So what was his finance charge? What is a finance charge? What do we think that is?
410.
So, okay, so you think it's 410. So how'd you figure that out? Like, what is a finance charge?
Just 4,500.
Okay, so that's how you got the number. So yeah, finance charges. Here's money to do your home renovations. It's not for free. That's the cost of, yeah, it's the cost of doing, it's the cost of the loan, right? That's the interest. So yeah, your finance charge in this case is, this is how much I took out. I took out $4,500. This is how much I have to pay back over the 3 years. All it is just subtracting those two numbers, right? $4,910.40 minus $4,500. If you do that, you should end up getting $410.40. That's it. For the most part, everything falls back to that one equation. I equals PRT, principal rate term. Or it comes down to just,
You're paying 5,000, then you're just paying that 500 back into the money tax.
yeah. Like, that's smart. It's like, oh, you'll make more to do this. Like, you'll get more money at the end to do this. Yeah. And you get to live in a better house then, because you've renovated it. So for the next little bit here, you're going to get time to work on the remainder of these questions. Like I said, there was not a whole lot of new stuff here. So you get some time to work on the remainder of these questions. Now, we do have, oops. Come on. We do have our exam on the morning of Thursday. So 2 days from now, that's when we have the exam for that. So if you should finish these questions, it's review time. You'll have a more proper review tomorrow. That's what all of tomorrow afternoon's dedicated for. But what you can do is you can go to your booklet, your booklets from units 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and you can work on those after you finish these questions as well. So you get some time to work on these, and then it's some time to review. And then tomorrow you're going to get a more official actual review that's going to be like similar to what your test itself would be like. We're almost there. So yeah, I'll just stop.